Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I'm Mike. With me, as always, is Scott.
We got a special guest tonight, Joe.
Joe's back in the building. I'm so excited. Hey Joe.
We'll interview him in just a minute and see how he's been doing for the past couple weeks.
How are you, man?
Ola's.
So good to have you back, man. It feels so good to be sitting on this side of the computer screens and not on that side. I really did miss you, man. I'm glad you're back.
That makes two.
Yes. And I'm sure the audience misses you too. I can't believe Robert Taylor hasn't already commented on the Facebook feed to be like, where's Joe? Joe's here. All right.
Love y'all too.
All right, good. We got an awesome show for you guys tonight. March Madness news. We're going to talk some Johnny football. We have some Florida man stories for everybody.
Mike Trout money. Mike Trout money.
I can't believe that. That's absolutely bananas. But a fantastic show, so be sure to stick around. Share that show. Help us out. Shout out 12 Ounce Sports Radio as well.
What up, 12
Live
Ounce?
on 12 Ounce. We're not opening up the drunk line tonight, everybody. We're still trying to deal with some issues in terms of the computer volume. So we're going to kill the drunk line, but you can text in anytime you want, 440-37-DRUNK, or you can hit us up on the Facebook live feed. Just leave a comment. We'll get to whatever you guys want to talk about tonight. Scott, I'm going to hand it over to you real quick.
You pump up whore?
Okay, yeah. I forgot. I'm not used to not doing things. Like,
I
I'm
know.
like, oh, I got
Look,
plenty of time on my hands over here. I'm not trying to.
If
cuts.
I'm more in tune with what's going on than you, then we got problems.
We definitely got problems.
Because my computer was over here like, oh, show's starting cool. Lock up.
Well, you want me to do Would You Rather, or you want to do it?
No,
You
I
good?
can go ahead and do
All right,
Would
go
You
for
Rather.
it.
I wasn't sure if that's what you're talking about. But anyway, we got March Madness style Would You Rather. Because this time of year, there's all sorts of that guys rolling around
All
your
those
office.
shenanigans.
Yeah, with their different personality types when it comes to filling out their brackets. So we wanted to know, would you rather spend all of your time in an office with the guy that as soon as the tournament starts, game one, right off the blocks, it's an upset or whatever, and he picked it wrong, and all he does is complain about how his bracket is busted.
Totally busted, man.
It's over.
It's ruined.
I'm
My
done.
bracket's ruined. Just throw it in the garbage.
Don't know why I do this every year.
I picked this 7 seed to go at least to the Sweet 16, and they lost it, so it's done.
So I quit.
Just worthless. It's a waste of my time. This free entry into this office pool is shot.
Right. So that's your choice number one.
That's my favorite. Is it's the dude that it wasn't even a paid bracket league. Like he was
yeah,
just like
'cause that guy still complains.
yeah.
Yeah. No, he filled it out, and so that gave him license to complain no matter what happens.
I put tens of minutes into this, and now it's shot.
That same guy is also their Final Four weekend talking about the ways he can still win if things go break his way. He complain about the very first game, and then it's still, but, if this happens and this happens, I can still pull this thing out. Like, I made the right picks the rest of the way, so I got this.
And on the
talking, man.
on this poll, our buddy Corey commented, "I feel as though the first game whiner should just be my profile picture. Well played." Corey is this guy, but he does it in a funny way. If you're in the Craft Brewed Sports group on Facebook, you've already seen him. You've already seen him drop that comment where he's just like, "New Mexico State, you MFers." Like that seed was what ruined his bracket for him. Your other choice for Would You Rather, if you don't want to do that guy, would you rather then spend your time in an office with the guy who brags about picking the upset in 4 of the 12 brackets that he filled out? He's the guy that like lines them all up on his desk, and he's got the different colored highlighters, and he's like, it's like he's playing a game of bingo, where it's just like, yeah, I got that 12 over 5, I got that 12 over 5.
Yeah.
But that dude, first of all, I'm not one to... All right, I am one to be like one man, one bracket. That is kind of me.
No doubt.
But I don't really care. I like to give people crap about it, but I really don't care. If I'm really getting down to it,
about it earlier.
if I'm really getting down to it, do you? Go ahead, fill out 12 brackets. This is all.
Well,
You're just picking names out of hat anyways. It doesn't really matter.
My thing with the multiple brackets is the multiple bracket guy will only have things differently through the first round, and then the rest of it will be exactly
12 brackets, Duke's winning all of them. But he picked a 12 and a 5 in this one, and then in this one he picked a 14 over 3.
So, I don't understand the
Final
point.
four is all the same.
I don't understand the point of it. It's like, if you're going to go different, be different. Have 4 16 seeds in one of them or something. What's the point of having all of the same Final Four? And all
Well, that's just a waste of time if you don't pick, the winner.
I just this weird to me.
Yeah. So which one is worse? The guy who is complaining right off the jump, or the guy who is just bragging his guts out over
Everything.
randomly picking a game in a couple of the brackets?
Not only that, usually bragging about that game that the experts told everybody anyway.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same
yeah,
one that pretty
yeah.
much everybody has
But-
anyway.
And here's the thing. I think if you only filled out one bracket, you've got the right to brag about that. Cool, man. You picked an upset in the.
See, I have the one bracket, and I don't even do that because, again, it's all a crapshoot.
It is a crapshoot.
So
It's
it's
all-
like,
yeah.
it's like, okay, I had a 50-50 shot, and I got it right. I mean, it'd be one. It's not anything in like the first couple rounds. It's impressive if somebody picked something that like really didn't happen, and you did have a Final Four team that nobody else had, and it's like, oh well, that
You picked UMBC last year over who were they?
Over
for? Kansas?
Virginia?
Or Virginia,
Yeah.
yeah. If you pick that game, you do have the right to brag about that.
Yeah, go ahead
And
and
the
do that.
only people who
And
pick that
also-
are people who go to UMBC.
I was going to say, it's like, also you have to have no ties to that school in order to be able to brag. Because if you did, you just did it because it's your school.
You just straight up over it.
Yeah.
Those are your options. Go ahead and put those votes in on both our Twitter or our Facebook page. And with that being said, let's get into this beer of the week because I am super pumped.
Also, shout out to Dugout Mugs.
Yes.
Because Dugout Mugs coming through in the clutch.
Why don't you tell these people about Dugout Mugs?
Dugout Mugs is a company that makes beer mugs that are basically bats.
It's a hollowed out baseball bat, baby.
Major League Baseball bats have different logos for your teams. You can get multiple logos for each team. You can get player signatures, all sorts of different things. But they are fantastically handcrafted and just awesome,
Dude, and
And
you can smell the real wood on this.
they have half baseball beer openers.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, this is an actual baseball cut in half, turned into a beer opener.
You know what I love
awesome.
on that too? It says, "If you pour it, I will drink."
Yes. Yeah. So shout out to our friends at Dugout Mugs, who are now a collaborative teammate of ours, and you should go get one because they're fantastic.
And if you do go sell out, jeez, that was
Kabam!
Damn, Joe coming in strong on the sellout. If you do go to dugoutmugs.online/craft. Use the code CRAFTBREWED, all one word, and you're going to get 20% off your entire order. They are hooking up Craft Brewed Sports listeners. Go do that. We also have another new sponsor that we want to tell you about. This company, More Labs, creates a drink called Morning Recovery. Mm-hmm. You drink this while you're drinking or right after you finish drinking, up to an hour after your last drink, and they are guaranteeing that you will wake up feeling more rested, more ready to go. I can speak from experience. I have used this on 2 different occasions. One after a bourbon tasting where I was browning out. I didn't realize I was browning out until the next day. And I was like, did I bring home my sweatshirt? Oh, yeah, there it is. Did I say goodbye to everybody? Okay, yeah, I did say goodbye to everybody. Okay, all right, cool. I thought I just ghosted. But I woke up and it was me and the boys by myself. I had to take care of 2 toddlers by myself. It was a bad situation, and I was fine. Perfectly fine. It was amazing. Hands down the coolest thing ever. And Morning Recover, More Labs is also hooking up our listeners. Go to morelabs.com, use the code SPORTS at checkout, and you get 20% off of any non-subscription purchase on that site.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our good friends over at Minute Man, and shout out to all of you for helping us with our bracket numbers. Blew it up in the Minute Man bracket.
We'll talk about Minute Man in 1 second. Let's talk about this beer. This week we have Citrus Drop from Matchless Brewing in Tumwater,
and we got
Washington.
that from our good friends at Tavor.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we like money and free stuff. So
We have been working hard to get these sponsors,
we
bro.
really appreciate everybody that listens, that helps us get those. And we love you all, and we love free stuff.
Yes.
So keep sending it.
Yes.
Citrus Drop from Matchless Brewing.
Also, we love the drop. And we just need a reason to play it.
So glad you're
No,
back
I was
to
gonna
do
say
that stuff. I
we
couldn't
love
handle
the drop.
that.
I was gonna say we love the drop, but we love you and your timing.
Yes,
of
it's
using the drop.
fantastic. Citrus Drop by Matchless Brewing in Tumwater, Washington. It's a 13% ABV. Get those morning recoveries ready to go because we are going to need them tomorrow.
And we did not realize that it was 13%.
Yeah, this was a very big surprise. I didn't realize it until after I started to put this in the dock. 4.14 caps on Untapped. This one is loaded with hops. It's a triple milkshake IPA. Tavor says it's got notes of grapefruit, blood orange, and ripe stone fruit that mask the ABV. Lactose and flaked oats added for a super smooth mouthfeel. Scott's favorite.
My favorite.
The hops in this one, Citra, Topaz, and Lemon Drop. So it's the strippers of the hop family are in this beer. And I got to be honest, you can tell it is super smooth. It does not taste like a 13%er. This is dangerous.
There's nothing about this that says 13%. Consume. I mean, I'm not even gonna. I don't care how this holds up. I don't. This beer is
It
fantastic.
is so good. Joe, you're the IPA fan. You've also been missing for a couple weeks. What do you think of this beer? Dynamite drop in, Joe. It even tastes good out of a baseball bat. You can get
I
yours.
think it tastes better out of a baseball
You get
bat.
yours dugoutmugs.online/craft. Use the code craftbrew and get 20% off of your baseball bat.
It tastes like winning.
Let's get into Upper Deck. Sure. And another sponsor.
And by the way, Upper Deck, in case you forgot, as always, brought to you by Minuteman. Minuteman helps. It's too far. Craft Brewed Sports brought to you by Minuteman Tickets, and they're owned by a couple of local Ohio dudes or sports fans just like all of you.
Minuteman helps customers find the best deals on the market. They are all about honesty all the time. Every time, if someone's got a better price, they are going to tell you straight up.
Not just sports and concert tickets. They'll help you out with tickets to any event you want, and they'll help sell those tickets for you.
Look, MLS season is underway. March Madness is here. NBA, NHL winding down. Check out Minuteman for tickets to any and all of those events.
And then, like us on Facebook, like them on Facebook, like Dugout Mugs on Facebook, and remember that Minuteman Tickets
More
does
labs.
weekly giveaways on merchandise, sports and concerts apparel, and even tickets.
Check them out, MinutemanTickets.com, or give them a call, 614-943-3000, and avoid all the fees. That's 614-943-3000. And shout out, Minuteman Madness is underway.
Yes.
Huge shout out to all of you that joined our group on that. We have over 400 people in the group. Minuteman,
Did it end up over 400?
Yeah, 411 at
Jesus, I thought
tip-off.
we
It's
were
up to
on
430 now.
Wow. Yeah.
Tons of
Thank you
people in
guys.
there.
Thank you.
And thank you to our sponsors who are giving out prizes
Yes.
for this.
All of
Minuteman
our
is giving out
sponsors.
a Ken Anderson autographed jersey. They're giving out shot glasses, a $50 gift certificate to Minuteman's.
Tavor got gift certificates.
Gift
to their
certificates to
website.
Devore. Three
Yeah.
people are going to win those. More
Morning
labs.
Recovery.
Yep, they're
came
giving.
in strong at the very
giving you a
last minute. They're
six-pack.
like, "Hey, we want to get in that."
Yep, they're giving you a 6-pack, and we're going to do some show gear too. So if you guys are in that, you're going to beat me. Hopefully your bracket holds through, and you're not already busted.
I mean, all I gotta say is mine's busted. It's busted out of the first game. All right. So here's something
I called
we
that
don't
one upset.
Here's something we don't really see every day, and mostly because it didn't happen in Florida. But in Oklahoma, a woman was arrested, and she's currently facing felony charges for using a T-shirt cannon to smuggle drugs into prison. And if you're thinking like I did when I first read the headlines, how did she use a T-shirt gun to smuggle drugs into prison? Well, she stood on the outside of the prison walls and shot a package full of drugs over the wall into the prison. That's right. She shot a package that contained drugs, earbuds, cell phones, phone chargers, meth, digital scales, weed, and tobacco over the wall. Now, big shocker, they saw this happening.
What?
No, I know.
How
she
does that
she did
happen?
not get away with it. They locked down the prison and caught her, leaving on security cams. Police were able to chase her down. They pull her over, and they find the T-shirt cannon in her possession. Miss Carrie Hickman is the woman in question, and her home was then searched after this pullover, and they found more drugs and other paraphernalia.
The only thing that would make that better is if instead of a T-shirt cannon, she used a hot dog gun.
Yes.
Just wrapped them all up in aluminum
What
foil.
I couldn't
and-
find within the story or any of the other ones that I searched out is how she came in possession of said T-shirt gun. Because it's not as if you can just go to the grocery store and pick up a T-shirt cannon. So
That means she has to moonlight as a T-shirt cannon gun shooter.
maybe? I don't know.
It's the only thing that makes sense, right?
But what team is claiming her? Yeah, she's one of us. One of those went missing last week. We were wondering what happened to the T-shirt cannon. Old Carrie took it home.
She thought she was just claiming she was going to use it for her kids.
I'm just gonna borrow this for the weekend. I'll bring it back on Monday.
I love the ingenuity. I think that's a genius move. Shout out Carrie.
You gotta try something new, right?
It's a great move.
I don't want to put this up my butt. How can I get in the prison? T-shirt cannon.
All right, let's go from somebody using some interesting technology to get things done to the MLB being the MLB. So Major League Baseball is testing new technology. They were testing it this week during spring training, where pitchers and catchers can communicate via a watch. So the catchers would be wearing a watch where they can signal in the pitch, and then they can signal the location, and then it comes through to the watch that the pitcher's wearing. The pitcher can check the watch, and that way it cuts down on sign stealing. The thing that is really driving down baseball, the thing that hurts baseball the most, sign stealing. Not length of time of a game, not the boringness of baseball, sign stealing. MLB tackling the hard-hitting issues this week, everybody. Cutting down on that sign stealing using Apple Watches, I guess. I feel like we're going to see the MLB come out next week and be like, MLB brought to you by Apple Watch. And then the sellout drop hits. And they're just like, you see Rob like wearing his Apple Watch, like checking.
Although that sellout drop came a long time ago. When it comes to MLB.
You're the biggest baseball fan on this show, I think. Do you like this idea?
File it under, I don't care. I mean, it's just stealing signs is not something that is a problem with the game. So
that's what drives me so crazy about this. For a sport that is all about, hey, there's unwritten rules and you're not allowed to show up a pitcher, and otherwise you get plunked. And you're a new rookie and everybody's talking about you. I'm going to hit you with the ball.
I actually feel like this is just part of the game.
Right,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of like that in football. Football does the same thing where it's like guys are trying to figure out the plays, and you don't hear anything about that where they're like, well, we need to crack down on them figuring out the play next. I mean, if you aren't good enough with your signals and the way you're relaying messages, that's on you. And then, even if they know what's coming or they have an idea or whatever, you still have to execute. So, I mean, it's your fault twice if you screw it up and they capitalize on it. So
it's just dumb that the sport that's all about, like, this is history, this is what we do, they're coming after sign stealing with new technology.
They've got so many other issues, and they always focus on the minutia.
Gotta love baseball.
Speaking of baseball, sticking with it, I don't really care about anything Philadelphia Phillies related, but shout out to former Philly, Carlos Santana, now back with Joe's Indians, his former home before he played one whole year in Philly. They signed him. It was really odd signing, and he's right back in Cleveland.
Roll Tribe.
But he was with them last season, and they got into September, and they were within the Braves. Them and the Braves were within shouting distance of one another as far as the division. So it looked like coming down the stretch in September there was going to be this battle. Instead, the Phillies completely fell apart and faded, and by the end of the season, they had finished like 13 games back. Well, turns out that a lot of it had to do with the younger guys playing all sorts of Fortnite. And Fortnite was a big deal last year, and there were multiple stories. I think we might have even done another one at some point last year about these young guys in baseball playing Fortnite like all hours of the night and staying up really late and doing all that stuff. Well, it affected the way the team played.
Weren't there pitchers that were talking about like it was harming their hand, like from holding the controller too much?
Yeah, and same thing with some of the everyday guys. There were Fortnite injuries, essentially. and so, not only
Grandpa,
that...
how'd you hurt your thumb? It's an old Fortnite injury, son.
Right. Well, not only that, apparently... So once the Phillies, not only did they struggle and fall out of it because they were playing a bunch of Fortnite, once they fell out of it, according to Santana, some guys were sitting in the dugout in these games where they were already out of the race, playing Fortnite in the dugout.
During the game.
Yeah, during the game. So he had gone into the clubhouse at one point, smashed up a TV with the bat to stop these guys from playing Fortnite. Hats off to Carlos Santana for stopping the madness. I mean, I am a super gamer. I love playing video games, but Fortnite is never any type of game that I would have ever played. But even with all of my favorite games, like there's a time and a place. And at your job, generally isn't that time or place.
I picture this too happening like the scene in Moneyball when Billy Beane comes in and they're dancing after a loss, and he's like, "Is losing fun? Is losing fun?" And then he smashes the radio, and he's like, "That's what losing sounds like." That's what I picture Carlos Santana doing here.
It's just really ridiculous that
elevated him in my book. I am a huge Santana fan now.
I was already a fan of Santana, just, from afar. He's one of those guys in the league when he was with the Indians that I always kind of, I like his game or whatever. But totally, this top 5 guy now.
I mean, I've been a fan of Santana since he did that one song with the guy from Matchbox 20. But like now,
moving on.
You gotta unmute me, bro.
Dad jokes over here.
You gotta unmute me.
Jesus, man. God. With that one guy, Rob Thomas, by the way. Jesus.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with Rob Thomas. I don't know if you saw it. I was trying to.
I know.
Right before.
I didn't see that, but I could tell in your head you were trying to work things out. You're trying to figure it out.
Hang on. First, I had to make sure his name was Carlos Santana, and then it wasn't like a different variation. And then I couldn't come up with Rob Thomas, and I literally put Santana and other guy.
I'm not as mad.
The only thing that would have made that more old man is if I put that as my Facebook status instead of into Google.
That would have been fantastic. Total old man moment.
Tabari said, even I skipped the Carlos Santana joke. Well, that's why you're still doing comedy, and I'm sitting here doing this.
Whoa, bro. Whoa.
I mean,
chopped liver?
No, it's just that
cool.
I don't have to be funny.
Read the next story.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
There's historic.
What the hell?
I don't know, man.
Historic?
That's my word.
Thank
That's
you.
what I'm trying to come up with.
Good Lord.
There was historic flooding. Tabari's talking trash. It's got me all thrown off, man.
Sure.
There was historic flooding in the Midwest this week, and a Nebraska native, Kyle Simpson, and his friend were out trying to go through the rubble and trying to find everything. Homes were wiped away. They're cattle that were destroyed.
That's over multiple states.
It was awful. The state of Nebraska flooded. It was like we had one state that was completely underwater in the United States.
And then it affected Missouri, too.
Yeah, the bomb cyclone, which is a weird weather phenomenon name. I don't like it.
Yeah.
The bomb cyclone? Anyways.
It's like thunder snow.
Right. Yeah, that's okay. Anyways,
Rob
that's
Thomas.
good beer, though. Thunder Snow is a good beer.
Okay, cool. Keep going.
Anyways, they were trying to clean up debris and pick up after the aftermath. They've been working all day, and that's when Simpson's friend noticed something in the middle of a field. Turns out it was a refrigerator, and the refrigerator was stocked full of Busch Light with a few Bud Lights mixed in as well. And they said it was a gift from heaven that in the middle of this field, after this flood, is this refrigerator filled with beer. They open it up, still cold. I don't know how that happens. That's the amazing part. It's not like it's plugged into a giant extension cord that goes all the way back to some barn. No, this is just this refrigerator that floated out of somebody's house and is sitting there. And they cracked open the beers and they were like, I hope whoever's this is, I hope their stuff's okay, and just kept drinking.
Probably not, but
no, if your refrigerator's in the middle of a field, chances are the rest of your stuff is gone.
Yeah. Also, high probability that isn't much of a concern. In the scheme of things.
Right. Well, no, actually, I feel like there's some farmer in Nebraska that's like, I lost my cows, but they were insured. It's fine. But I had a refrigerator full of Busch Light.
I literally just bought all those.
Do you know how much I have to spend on a refrigerator full of Busch Light? It's at least $64, and it's gone. I have no idea where it went. I checked my one field. It wasn't there. I haven't checked the other field yet. Maybe when I get there, it'll be there. And then he gets there, and there's two dudes drunk in his field drinking all of his Busch Light. If you guys find a refrigerator in the middle of a field, what do you want it stocked with? Beer-wise.
Citrus drop. I mean, this beer is fucking amazing.
And there's the explicit flag. All right, explicit flag flipped, everybody. Welcome to Craft Brewed Sports After Dark.
First half of the show can be okay. We're good.
Motherfucker, you.
I did it for the show.
Scott is the MF for the week.
Thank you very much.
Joe, what do you want stocked in your beer fridge that's in the middle of nowhere?
You know, I'm with them. Anything that is free is good for me. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
cool.
true.
Like, I don't even really like that Busch Light that much, but like free, find it in the field, you gotta celebrate
Beggars
that.
can't be choosers.
You gotta
yeah.
celebrate.
It's when
that.
you find,
Yeah.
a few bucks in your pocket that you didn't know were there from,
that you forgot you left and
yeah,
it falls out the washer. And
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's found money like
Yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
know. So I mean, if you find a refrigerator full of any type of beer, even the beer that I hate the most, and be like, it's free.
Yeah, but would you drink it in that case? If it's the beer you hate the most. Like,
It's
if it's a
'cause
beer
all-
that you hate the most, would you just be like,
Well,
yeah,
okay.
I'm out?
If it's the beer that I hate the most, I'd probably put like out a post like, "Hey, anybody lose their beer, their fridge? I'll give you $100 for it.
Some beer's like, yes, that's my Mike's Hard Lemonade. Thank you.
$100. Thank
been
you."
searching
I mean,
for it.
I can't even think of a beer that I'm saying that I would absolutely not drink under
What-
any circumstances.
What if you switch it and it's Four Locos,
Oh, man.
You know what's
a
funny?
fridge full of Four Locos?
I've never actually had
some
a Four
Colt,
Loko.
Colt 45s? Just
Yeah, that malt liquor is gross. Malt liquor is bad.
It's not good unless it's with orange juice and it's a brass monkey.
I
Then
would
it's okay.
drive to the hood and drop it off. Hey guys, found some. I'm out.
this is yours now.
Think this belongs to you guys.
Thank you for my safe passage. In return, I grant you these.
Gotta pay the troll toll.
March Madness is going on right now, and Abilene Christian is getting their faces beat in by Kentucky. They're down by 30. Big
I
shocker.
am shocked.
And
You know what? I called Kentucky over Abilene Christian in 3 of my brackets.
Oh, cool. Anyway, their head coach only has one suit, which also isn't shocking because it's Abilene
That
Christian.
is shocking to me.
Really?
Yes, I don't make as much money as that guy, and I have 3 suits.
That's
Come on,
fair.
man.
I do have 3 suits. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
broke.
only have 1
Baller.
suit.
That is kind of weird.
I mean, we're talking Men's Warehouse. You don't need a lot of money to get a suit, right?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
3
true.
for 1.
Right, yeah.
And
You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
What's up? You
Oh, I
guys want to
well, he ripped a hole in those pants for his celebrating getting into the tournament. And when he asked what he was going to do about not having an extra suit, he said, quote, "I'm coaching in my baby blue suit, and I'm going to have a hole in my butt, man." End quote. So the man is rocking a hole in his butt right now. Good for him.
Point of clarification: we all are technically rocking a hole in our butt. That is he
Dude,
worded
you are
this totally
on
wrong.
fire right now.
He totally worded that.
Jeez. I mean, what are you doing?
Also, for those, Abilene Christian is purple, not blue. So
That's what I was
weird.
wondering why he had
Right?
a baby
Why
blue
is he
suit.
wearing a baby blue suit? Especially
that's
coaching
weird.
against Kentucky,
You
whose
call
colors
he
are
coach
blue and white.
multiple times a week. That suit has got to reek.
It's gonna be funky. Like, that is.
I mean, unless he's going with like the Dumb and Dumber thing. And
Oh, maybe.
he's rocking
That could be.
But
Now, if he was with a top hat,
That would be baller to
a
see a
baby
coach.
blue tuxedo on the
To see a
sidelines.
coach show up in a Dumb and Dumber
That'd be
tux.
pretty sweet.
I'd be all about it. All right, last story of the week, if I can get the tab back up. We all love minor league baseball around here. I might like it more than Major League Baseball, and it's for the crazy stuff that these teams do. Minor league baseball teams never disappoint, and this week is no different. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimps, which, Joe, on your scale of minor league baseball mascots, where does the Jackson Jumbo Shrimps fall?
Jumbo Shrimps are definitely probably about a 7.5 out of 10.
It's pretty
on
good,
minor
right?
league
It's
baseball
pretty good.
names, yes.
Do we know what that logo looks like? I mean,
It's a shrimp with like flexing arms holding like a bat.
that's a good logo. Yeah, that's good. I'm on board with
Minor
that.
league baseball logos are the best.
It's awesome. Well, anyways, perfect timing for them too because they caught on right before this trend went viral this week. But Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp are doing a Florida Man Night. And during this promotion, they are promising to break a dumb Florida law every single inning, which I'm interested to see. Like, if there's somebody who's a real stickler, they could technically arrest whoever is breaking these laws. But they've got, like, weird laws on the books in Florida, like a man is not allowed to wear a strapless evening gown in public. Like it's those weird old timey laws.
But every state though has those on the book that they just have
they just
bothered getting rid
right
of.
because it's just like whatever.
Yeah, it just kind of phases out over time, and
Yeah.
nobody's really enforcing it. So,
But they're technically on the books,
Yeah.
and I think that's what this promotion is going to be. They're just going to be focusing on that kind of stuff.
absurd laws that are still there.
Which will be super entertaining, and I really hope that there's video of all of these laws being broken.
Me too.
There's one
gotta
every
be.
inning. They're doing one law every single
I mean,
inning.
there definitely has to be some type of video, even if it's just cell phone video that's posted to Twitter.
Right.
Like somebody's gonna document it.
They were talking about the guy that was seen in the hurricane standing out in the street, like with his mullet flowing and the American flag. He's going to be there as like the special guest Florida man. But yeah, there's all kinds of things that they can go into. It's illegal to sing in a public place while attired in a swimsuit. That's a law on the books in Florida. It's illegal to park a pickup truck in your driveway or in front of your house on the street in Cape Coral. Apparently, everybody in Cape Coral, Florida, is breaking the law because I feel like there's a lot of pickup trucks around.
Singing in your swimsuit in a public place in
Can't
Florida.
do it.
It's all public
Illegal.
places in Florida, and
Illegal.
everybody's wearing a swimsuit.
Yeah.
And I know there's
It's
drunk
Florida.
people singing.
Right.
What?
So look forward to that promotion later on this year from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. This has been Upper Deck, brought to you, as always, by Minute Man Tickets and by My Terrible Dad Jokes today.
Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas, apparently.
Carlos Santana and that guy.
That guy he was with.
Tamari says Mike is making jokes that feel like fighting Glass Joe on Punch-Out. Wow. That's harsh, man. Okay, fair enough. So the Florida Man trend that kicked off this week. Florida Man plus your birthday. Did you guys have good ones on that one? Did you do that, Joe?
Yeah, but I forget what it was.
What was yours, Scott? Do you remember? I can do mine.
Mine is the Florida man stabs neighbor with machete named Kindness.
Killing him with kindness.
Yes.
Killing him with
It is
kindness.
killing him with kindness. And that just happened on January 14th of this year. So, super relevant, recent Florida man news.
Yeah,
coming
that's
out of my birthday.
That's a fairly new one. Mine was August of last year. Drunk Florida man goes on beer run with gator. And that's where a dude brought an alligator into a convenience store and then bought beer and just walked out. And him and his friend were arrested for having an alligator. Just carrying it around, just like, yeah, man, what's up? We got a gator with us. Who cares? Joel Hughes in the show. What's up, Joel? Shout out, Joel, for tuning in. Thanks for listening in, man. All right, where you want to go first, Joe? Where you want to take us on this show? Where should we go? What should we do?
What?
Let's talk March Madness, since that's clearly what's going on this week. Some upsets already. I don't really care. I have no interest in this tournament. Is it bad that I don't care about March Madness this year?
No. This happens, though. Every time it does happen, I'm reminded that I only became a college basketball fan because I went to Xavier.
That's a good point.
Before I came to Xavier, I was never a March Madness guy. I didn't have a team. I just didn't follow. It just wasn't my thing. I just wasn't into college basketball. It was just NBA for me. That was it. And then going to Xavier, you get wrapped up in it all. And March Madness, that first year, they make the run to the Elite Eight. And it was euphoria ever since. And I mean, I've been into. But when Xavier's not good or Xavier doesn't make the tournament, I completely tune it out, and I'm reminded that I'm not really a college basketball guy by nature. I'm a college basketball guy because I went to a place where it was a big deal.
See, I was never a big college basketball fan, but I always loved March Madness. I loved filling out the brackets and following along.
I didn't fill out my first bracket till I got to college.
Me and Corey used to go to Hooters and fill out brackets and sit there with our brackets and try to chase off pregnant waitresses that tried to sit down because it was the Newport Hooters and
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
They'd come over and we'd be like, "We're good. Just bring us another pitcher of beer. We're good. We're fine. We're gonna take 10 more wings and a pitcher of beer. Leave us alone." But I loved March Madness, and this year I feel so checked out, and I don't know if it's because Duke is expected to roll through, or if it's just that there's so much parity in college basketball now that you can't really.
Soft about the whole thing. this Duke team, and I saw somebody else write an article or post a tweet or something about it, and I thought, okay, cool, it's not just me. I don't have any like animosity towards this Duke team.
No, I actually really like Zion.
Yeah, I really like Zion.
Really like him.
I don't, and Kentucky's not bothering me this year like they might in past
Maybe that's the
years.
problem. Maybe the problem
There
is
is no
there's no
villain.
villain. Yes, that's a good point.
Like I really, there isn't a team that I could pick and say, yeah, I really hate that team this year. They annoy me for whatever reason that I concoct in my mind. None of the
even
teams
as a Xavier fan, Louisville, with Chris Mack, now that he's there, I'm like, no, I'm cool. Whatever.
Villanova doing their thing, constantly beating our heads in, doesn't bother me. It sucked, and I knew Xavier coming down the stretch was probably going to have to win the Big East tournament to get in. They didn't, and from that moment, I was like, it's baseball.
Before you give Villanova a pass, hang on. That charge call at the end of the Xavier Villanova game.
But did they make the call?
No, but that has it kind of makes me hate Villanova for it because they win the game because of that.
Well,
but it's
I mean,
also Xavier completely collapsing down the stretch of that
and
one.
Again, it was the refs that blew the call, so it's not like Villanova made the call.
I think you're onto something though. Like I feel like if Zion, instead of being this guy that we all kind of look at as like, man, this is the dude. This guy is
I was driving home,
the future.
I was driving home and I thought about it. I was like, this might be racist, but it's usually the reason that I hate the teams or the specific thing. It's some dirty white guy.
Grayson Allen, that's what I was going to say.
And
that's
it's like
why I hated Duke recently.
And I say dirty white guy, and this could be a dirty white guy too, but Adam Morrison was just a physically dirty.
He was
white
dirty.
Guy.
He definitely had. He smelled bad.
He had a trash stash. He was just actually dirty white guy. So two different types of dirty white guys, and there was like that.
Adam,
hate
you're allowed
factor.
to wash your uniform. We wash it for you. No,
You're allowed to wash your face
good.
after games. A little soap, a little water. Never hurt anyone, bro. Just saying.
With that scraggly hair.
Yeah,
he did just
gross.
He was definitely a dude that.
I mean, there's just always this.
You smell your feet. Like I can just smell your feet through the TV, man.
And there's just always usually some white guy that just draws my ire, and especially on the Dukes of the world, they just always seem to have that guy, and they don't. And I mean, Zion seems to be a generally likable guy. He hasn't done anything stupid other than being thirsty with randos. So I don't know. I just don't have any hate towards anybody this year. So it's kind of
you might be 100% onto something on this one. That's the reason why college basketball is kind of boring this year because there isn't the team to cheer against.
Yeah.
Because the thing that drives views, besides like your favorite team and watching your favorite team and following along, is watching a team that you want to see lose.
And Kentucky doesn't have a team full of first round household name guys that just like, it's just not fair because it's a team full of NBA guys. So
right.
I kind of don't like them. I mean, they're just doing their thing and it's whatever.
Well, and this was
Coach Cal has been quiet.
We talked about it a little bit after Duke had lost their first game, where we were like, well, now the mystique's off because we kind of expected Duke to just roll through the season and be that team that nobody could touch. And as soon as somebody took them down, and then the season has just been bananas. I mean, there's changes in the top five, and it's all been kind of the
Duke
same
mostly
teams.
Did roll. I mean, if you take away the shoe incident,
if you take away the time that Zion wasn't playing, yes,
they
Duke
mostly did roll. So there wasn't
You're
anything unexpected about it.
But it was still, it had that mystique because we were like, man, Duke could go undefeated this year. That's how good they are. And then they just they lost, and it was like, oh, all right, see you in March, I guess.
Yeah, more or less.
Because you're going to be a 1 seed, and good luck in the tournament. But you might be. I think you've cracked the case on this one.
There just isn't anything to kind of get me to care.
No, there really isn't. And it's not even like normally I'll hate a coach. Like Rick Pitino's gone now, and I can't even his kid, even though his kid looks just like him, coaching Minnesota. I don't
have any ire against him.
I mean, I kind of do just because he's
coach's son,
Rick Pitino Jr. and it looks like looking in the past.
Until he does his own thing in a restaurant booth, it's whatever. I'm not going to put the sins of the father on the son.
I just don't, and I don't really hate Richard Pitino, which was weird. That was very strange when they cut to him and it said Richard Pitino and then gave
Did
his...
they chyron him as Richard Pitino?
Yes.
I missed that.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was
That's
listed as
awkward.
Richard Pitino, and I was like,
Weird.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that
Don't
at
do
all.
that again.
Right.
Tell the guy in the truck to take that off.
But wasn't that fantastic on the committee's part to have Minnesota play Louisville in the first
No.
round?
That was absolutely done on purpose.
100%
There's
done on
certain
purpose.
things that happen in the tournament where they seed these teams and where they put these teams where I completely know that they're doing it for the storyline, and there's little things. It's like, well, these teams are really close and we could do this and we could do that. But there's this storyline here that's pre-built and we don't even have to do anything, and they do it on purpose, and it's not even like transparent, so I know that was one of them.
That was definitely something that this works out.
And I'm actually perfectly fine with it because, again, that kind of gets you for those games. I mean, otherwise, is there really a reason if you're not a Louisville or Minnesota fan to watch the game?
It was the first game of the tournament. That's pretty much the only reason.
But I'm saying other than the obvious, like, there isn't really much of a reason that you're going to tune into that game. But if you're like, oh, there's the Rick Pitino angle here, and it's his son, that gets a few.
If
more
only
people.
Rick Pitino was at the game, but no. Instead, the only Louisville fans they showed, famous Louisville fans they showed, were
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It hurt. It hurt.
I know. He was there. Did you see his brother was there too?
No.
Brian Doyle Murray was there too. Both of them. Yeah. It was rough to see Bill and Brian because Brian Doyle
never came to save you.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep. Well, I'm glad they lost. Good. And there's your villain. They're already out of the tournament. Joe, are you following along at all? Do you care about this? You're the basketball guy in this group. Do you care about this tournament?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still one of the people that are super big into watching from start to finish college basketball. Injected in my veins till Sunday, and definitely am.
I just can't.
I get it. I'm fine with people being.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch because it's something to watch.
I get it through osmosis.
I do agree that not having a villain in a sport makes it kind of whatever. It's why I don't really follow baseball. There's nothing too exciting. There's nothing.
The Yankees are always the villain. Even in their down years, they're the villain.
All right, but in fairness, even the Yankees now, I don't hate as much as I used to.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't.
I do.
There's no big name. There's no one to be like, man, forget this guy.
Old gap tooth.
You got CeCe, who's like 80 years old, about to leave.
I kind of like watching fat CeCe Sabathia roll out onto the mound.
It's kind of just like Bartolo Colon. Just
Yeah,
get
I'm
up
like,
on out there, buddy.
Like, look at this guy.
Old gap tooth.
Look at the old gap tooth.
Yeah. I got problems with that.
I literally.
All rise. Yeah, no.
I don't mind. I don't mind Aaron Judge. I don't.
Get out.
I mean, he's. It's not that
it's more of the fans than the actual team.
That's true.
Well,
that's
okay, so
true.
but I mean, that's to me, that's always why it's going to be that.
No, because
thing.
I
Like,
still
if I
hate
be the
Duke
player-
fans. I still hate Duke fans, but I don't care about Duke as a team this year. I'm like, well, whatever.
Yeah,
You
I
got a great
guess.
team. It's cool.
But I feel
you're
like the
likely
fans
gonna win.
always drive me into hating the team no matter what, and I'll find somebody. It's like with the Cowboys. I'm going to find some reason to hate them because their fans are going to hype up somebody on that team. I mean, they're already talking this week about, we got Randall Cobb. We're unstoppable. 90-year-old Randall Cobb is why you guys going to finally get over the hump.
Well, first off, they're going to be stoppable because the Browns are unstoppable. So.
But I mean, it
So I
would
don't
still
know
be
what
the
they're
NFC.
talking
I
about.
mean, NFC, AFC. So I mean, they could still roll.
You know what?
through the
My
NFC.
favorite thing that I saw this week too. Not Sports Center tweeted out two different articles. They gave the Cowboys lineup and they were like QB. Dak Prescott, running
Who's
back
gonna stop
Ezekiel,
this?
and
You
then,
saw my tweet.
and they were like, "Who's gonna stop this? I'll wait." And then, literally 4 hours later, tweeted out about the Saints, and they were like, "Other than bad officiating, who's gonna stop the Saints? I'll wait." And I'm like, "Wait, you just that's the same team, bro. Like, or the same league. You can't do that."
Yeah.
Tabari says the Phillies are the new villains in MLB with Bryce Harper. I don't even hate the Phillies because I don't feel like they're a threat. Even with
They're
Bryce
in
Harper,
division.
it's like.
Dude, I took some heat yesterday. So Sports Illustrated tweeted out their cover, their baseball preview cover edition for the upcoming issue.
This is going down too smooth. Sorry.
I
Just-
know. No,
oh
I know.
my
I'm
God.
trying to slow
my
myself.
God.
I'm trying to pace myself because I'm gonna be wasted before the show goes over if I drink it at the.
So you need a morning recovery.
It's the bat. The bat just like funnels it down.
It really
makes
does.
go
It
down
just
easy.
funnels
It
it
really
down.
does.
Thompson Muggs does a great job with what they do in their hands.
You know what? Luckily, morning recovery. We could take that after we're done drinking, and we are going to be fine tomorrow. We're
yeah.
But
totally
if it's
fine.
not for Tavor who delivered
Tavor.
the beer.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
Anyway, so they tweet out their cover photo.
All right,
and it
you need to
says-
stop laughing when we play that. You gotta play it cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
you do
play
have
it
to act,
cool.
You do have to act like it's not the
Play
first
it
time
cool.
you heard it every time.
Play it cool. Like this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Timing is so good. I can't help it.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Good job. So they tweet out the thing, and it said, people fear the Phillies, blah blah blah. And I just tweeted back, not threatening, not talking shit, nothing. I just said, Braves fans, Braves don't fear the Phillies.
Yeah.
There's nothing to fear. And man, you would have thought that I went on a personal crusade or was attacking their mothers of Phillies fans. They came out of the woodwork and, you guys suck and, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know what you expect me to say. All I said was, we just don't fear you.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Besides the two signings that they had, Real Muto and Bryce,
Which was
I
right.
could
Right.
not tell you another person on their team.
No, and that's why they're not
could.
going
And
to.
I admitted to a lot of them. I'm like, look, don't get me wrong. The Phillies on paper are a good team. But to me, the Nationals, who have had Bryce Harper for the last almost decade and had all good teams while he was there, I thought those teams were better. The pitching
Dusty
rotation
Baker,
was
there's
a
the
lot
problem.
better. Well,
There's the
fine.
problem
and
with
those
the Nationals.
those teams ultimately underperformed or whatever. And so I'm like, why would I be scared all of a sudden because they got Bryce Harper?
Right.
If that's what you're saying, that's the reason all of a sudden that I'm feared. Or a catcher who
Bryce Harper wasn't the missing piece on the Phillies. It'd be one thing if
Yeah.
he went to a team where it was like, man, they were like if he had gone to Cleveland, where it was like, ooh, they were close a few years back and needed that.
We do need outfielder help.
But even the Dodgers, who 2 years in a row lost in the World Series, and it's like, okay, maybe
Right.
they could use an MVP to get them
Right,
over that
just-
hump or something.
yeah.
But
You mean like Yasiel Puig?
no. But yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, that's a weird headline.
Puig's
to put.
about to be MVP. Puig is about to be MVP in Cincinnati.
Well, yeah, in Cincinnati for sure.
I feel
That
like we've
doesn't
talked
take
way
He's-
too much baseball.
Don't blame me for that.
Nah, I mean,
we
it just
started
it just
this as college basketball.
it just kind of
all
happens.
comes back to
it just
baseball, baby.
happens when you're drinking out of an awesome beer mug that is shaped like a bat.
From Thompson Muggs.
Shout out.
Real quick though.
Dugoutmugs.online/craft.
Should we talk about Mike Trout while we're on baseball before we move on?
Yeah, so Trout with the
A
big news.
$1 billion deal.
$430 million over 12 years, which is hilarious that it's 1 year less than Harper and $100 million more.
Well, and funny enough, though, it actually ended up not, and this is just semantics, but he had 2 more years left on his deal, so that actually covers up. So it's actually
Right,
a
it's
10-year.
10 year. Yeah,
it's a
10-year
deal.
extension.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For $430 million. That dude, but there again, there's another one where it's like Mike Trout has been with the Angels forever, and they haven't done anything. So you lock this guy up, and don't get me wrong, you want a guy like Mike Trout on your team, but if you lost him, who cares? You weren't winning with him.
Yeah, but I feel like the Angels have just made a series of bad decisions prior to him getting to where he is now, and they could, if they would stop, if they get out of their own way, they could turn it around quicker than
Ever since they changed their name, they haven't been the same.
Yeah, that's true. They
That
really
is a
do
fair
need to go
point.
back to being Anaheim Angels. I
Yeah.
mean, I never understood the name change anyway.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They
weak.
lost all those Angels in the outfield when they switched
That's
their names.
it.
You know?
That's the problem.
I'll tell you what, they need to go back to that old logo too, with the angel wings on the A.
Dude, that logo was legit.
I loved that logo.
Is it okay?
The uniforms were whatever, but the logo was awesome.
How much of the team's logo is it that influences whether or not you like the team? Because I feel
lot.
like it's a lot. Like there are times
lot.
if a team rebrands and their new color scheme and their logo are legit, I'm like I kind of want them to do well because they look fly in those. But then there's other times where I'm like, Yeah, that
It's
looks
why
like
the Marlins
garbage.
toil in mediocrity.
They're just
forever.
like, they're just like, well, we're gonna switch up the logo again, and look, now it's black and teal.
They change it every year, and every year I'm like, that is worse than the last one.
And it's why minor league baseball is way better than major league
That's a
baseball.
good point.
Right.
That's a good point. Sports Stance, shout out Greg from Sports Stance, who says, "Is $430 million a lot asking for a friend at Fenway?"
Yeah, because speaking of which, Mookie Betts said today, or it came out today, that they had offered him a $200 million extension last year for 10 years, and he's like, he was more or less insulted. And that was before he went out and had an MVP year.
I mean, baseball money is crazy money. It
Yeah.
is ridiculous. What would you do with $430 million?
I don't know, man.
That is so much money to think about. Like, all right,
You know what, though, I will say, and I
That's
thought about
almost
this.
half
I
a
thought about this
billion
morning, and I'm
dollars.
sure somebody had mentioned it, but I hadn't seen it while all this was going on. In California, that gets taxed.
yeah. That's
I'm
a good
not trying
point.
to. I'm not trying to downplay how much it is, but that money.
No, that's a fair
I
point.
actually wanted to see him. Like, where's Darren Ravel or somebody with the numbers on what it is after taxes on this and what it is actually comparable to? Because after taxes, I'm wondering, is he getting more than Trout, like take home, or is he actually
That's a
going to
good
come
point.
in lower? Because California taxes are that bad.
That's a very good point. I did not think about the taxes compared to like Pennsylvania versus
And
versus
I mean, and
California.
that factors in with a lot of these deals and stuff. Now, they'll talk about people signing in a state, like Texas or Florida or whatever.
Well, that
There
was when LeBron went to Miami.
Yeah,
and,
there's no
and, like,
state income
took
tax.
a pay cut, and
And so
everybody's
it's
like,
like,
"What?" It's like, "No, he's
well-
making more."
Yeah. And so people are saying, well, he got all this money, and some are trying to argue that maybe he doesn't deserve it or that it's absurd. And then you're like, yeah, but comparable to what he's worth and what other people are making, and then you factor in the tax, he's probably underpaid, which is weird to say when somebody's making $430 million.
That is kind of weird. That's like, you got screwed there, bro.
Dude, your agent didn't do a good
You
job.
gotta get that take home, but you gotta look at that net, not that gross,
Yeah.
man. Ryan Shitty, a good friend of the show here, when asked $430 million, what are you doing? 2 chicks at the same time, man. Fantastic answer.
Okay, so there were 4 new logos that came out for minor league baseball.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I
I love minor league baseball logos. All right.
So the Flying Squirrels,
The
the Richmond.
the
No, that was last year. The Chancletas.
Oh yeah,
it was last year.
Oh, I thought that was new for this year. I thought they announced it last
So
year.
we've got 4 this year. So
Pizza Rats. That was last year,
The
too, right? Pizza
Richmond,
Rats.
the Richmond Flying Squirrels are going to play one game or a couple games as the Hush Puppies. You have the Binghamton Rumble Ponies are going to be the.
Rumble Ponies?
Wait, that's their real name.
What?
They're-
Why mess with greatness like
They're
Rumble
going.
Ponies?
So that's the Mets affiliates. They're going to play a couple
course.
games as the Stud Muffins. So a muffin flexing.
Oh, I like that though. That's good. That's good.
The other Mets affiliate, the Syracuse Mets, are going to play a game as the Butter Sculptures. Yes, that is right. You heard that right. They're going to be the Butter Sculptures.
Please tell me the mascot is just like melting butter.
It is a butter stick flexing. With a
They're
face.
always flexing. The mascots are
minor,
always
the
flexing.
minor league logos flex a lot.
And the last one, the Louisville Bats, close to home. They're gonna play on Derby Day, and they're gonna be called the Mint Juleps for a day.
Nah, weak sauce.
Yeah,
That one's a
that's
little
kinda
weak.
weak.
I think,
It's
I think
also
the butter.
obvious,
I think
too.
the butter sculptures.
Butter Sculptures is my
probably
favorite.
the best one.
That's fantastic. Plus the fact that it's a stick of butter.
It's like the
Really?
stick
I
with
like the
the half
I
rolled
like the
down paper
stud
on it.
muffins, though.
Stud Muffins is good. That's a
Yeah,
good
muffin
logo.
flexing too. That's good.
I'm a
Wait,
fan
hold
of
on.
these changes.
Really key question. What kind of muffin?
It
is
looks
it?
blueberry.
I knew it. That's
It's
the
always
default.
blueberry.
That's the
It's always
default.
blueberry.
No, and that's fine because I love me some blueberry muffins. But that was the key, and I wondered if that's the generic go-to is in the world when
Well, it's
somebody
got-
says muffin, the first muffin that pops in your head is blueberry.
Right,
Text
it's-
in 440
it's a
37
yellow.
drunk.
It's a yellow muffin with like blue spots on it. So I'm guessing blueberry.
I mean, nobody goes with the poppy seed. Nobody's trying to pass that drug test with a little poppy seed.
It was a muffin. It was my muffin.
That was
man.
my
It wasn't- I
hey,
didn't-
man. It's like I had a couple of poppy seed muffins this morning. I don't even know what was going on. It was flexing. That's why I failed my test.
So the other names for the stud muffins could have been the rocking horses,
no,
timber jockeys,
no.
gobblers, and bullheads.
Yeah, they went with the right one for sure.
Definitely the right choice.
Stud muffins. I mean, especially, I can't see the other logos, so maybe they would have had some decent designs. But I mean, a muffin flexing wins it when you say stud muffin.
Especially on a hat. Can
Yes,
you imagine that
exactly.
hat?
Yes, that hat is a collector's
So
item.
they're selling that hat, right? And this is where it always gets me because every time Joe shares a new minor league team with like a new look, I'm like, I need that hat.
I think the
I
butter
want that
sculpture might be a pickup this year.
That's I mean but stud muffins. That's a dad joke right there.
Right.
You just wear the hat with the muffin flexing?
Yeah, I'm a stud muffin.
Why do you have to talk like that?
Dad bod.
That's my dad voice. That's my dad. When I grow up, that's my dad voice.
I know you ain't got no kids if that's your dad voice. You guys want to do since we already flipped the explicit flag, you want to do motherfucker of the week?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're bringing it back.
Bring it back.
Motherfucker, you.
And the whale hunt. We're going to do some NBA whale news as well.
I don't know what happened there.
You hit two buttons at the same time. That's what happened there. My choice for motherfucker of the week this week is Jason Garrett, who went...
Who could always win it.
Apparently in Scott's book, anything Dallas Cowboys or New York Yankees.
To be fair,
related
even
could always win
Cowboys
it.
fans would agree with that. They
That's
are
true.
when asked, who's stopping them, a lot of fans, even Cowboys fans, are like Jason Garrett
And then they go to the playoffs, and Cowboys fans are like, we're stuck with them.
again.
Anyways, David Irving played for the Cowboys and was dealing with some legit issues. Like felt like he was getting schizophrenic. He had CTE that he felt was coming on. He suffered several concussions, and rather than pumping himself full of narcotics, he wanted to smoke weed. And he decided that the best thing for him would be to retire and just go ahead and take care of himself. And the way that he was going to take care of himself was medicate with marijuana because he felt that was safer. And he revealed this week that he had a discussion with Jason Garrett where Jason Garrett encouraged him to leave the league. And here's what Irving had to say about Garrett. He said, quote, "He told me I should just quit, smoke all the weed I want. The team didn't need me. I'm a distraction to the team. He views marijuana as a drug, whereas I view it as a medicine. It's not a good situation." Jason Garrett, my choice for motherfucker of the week.
Solid. I mean, again, I don't really need a reason. I'd just be like, oh,
I just
Jason
don't know
Garrett
in this day and age how you're not like, yeah, I would rather you smoke weed than get on pills. Because how many times do you
it's
see
really
guys
weird.
like getting addicted and whatever? Anyways, I'm not gonna go down that soapbox and go down that road and whatever other cliche we can add in here that I can vamp while Scott tries to find his motherfucker.
Oh no, I was waiting. I'm
Oh,
good.
okay, my bad. I thought you were still
no.
searching.
Sorry,
My bad.
Mine is Mike Francesca, who went on radio and is a blowhard. That's his shtick. He just talks loud and rambles on. Well, this week he decided he was going to ramble on talking about March Madness and failed to remember that this time last year a 16 beat a 1. He was on radio rambling on about how a 16's never beat a 1. And, I don't know why we do this, and this is pointless, and yada, yada, yada. And, hey, bro, that literally just happened. Like, this didn't happen years ago where you could say, oh, that's right, I kind of forgot about that. And
that's
that's
a new thing.
just happened. And so, of course, UMBC, who pulled the upset against Virginia,
Who, by the way, has a fantastic Twitter account. That
That
team's Twitter account is great.
And if you remember last year during the tournament, it got national recognition.
Yes.
And I think the guy who was running the Twitter account was on like Good Morning America, and that guy got fame for a little bit. He had his 15 minutes for running that Twitter account because it was really witty and just really funny. But back at it, and it was like, oh hey, it's cool. He was retired last year when it happened because he did step away from radio for about 10 minutes last year in New York.
and then begged to get back on the
Yeah,
air.
and then got right back. But either way, motherfucker for not even remembering that a 16 beat a 1 and it just happened in the most recent tournament.
Right there. Joe, do you have one
yeah.
for this week?
I do.
All right, good. Good, because
do.
you don't have it in our rundown, so I'm excited to hear this
Well,
one.
I kind of just thought of
Art
it.
of surprise. I like it.
I kind of
like
just
it.
thought of it while we were talking about, the people with the brackets and March Madness. Another one came to my mind that we didn't mention as like some of the worst people. But the worst is the people who don't do a bracket and then they try and tell you about how much their life is better, kind of like the vegan sports people, where they're like, "Yo, my life is so much better because I didn't fill out a bracket this year. There is no stress. I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about all the games." But those people are literally the worst. Like everyone fills out a bracket.
Scott's the worst. Wait, you had to fill out a bracket.
No, I did
Okay.
this year. But rewind to a couple of years ago when Xavier wasn't in the tournament.
You didn't fill out a bracket.
I didn't.
And he was like,
and I was that guy.
"You know what? I don't want to do a bracket." Just like the same people. Nah, I got out of fantasy football this year. I can't handle it. Like, I don't want to put up my money. No, you're the worst. Stop telling me how your life is better. Everyone does a bracket. It's free. It takes 5 minutes. Shut up. You did one. Don't lie.
But it was,
Vegan sports person.
But it was true. I sat there and watched the games, and it was weird because that year I did watch the games, and I remember I kept telling everybody, guys, it feels so freeing to be able to watch these games and not have to worry about some asshole
As you were
school
lying to
that
yourself,
you've
trying to
never
make
heard
yourself
of.
feel
That's what it is.
above
That's
everybody.
what it is. He's just
But
trying to. Yeah.
But I will say though, in fantasy football, it got stressful because I was running 5 teams a year for about 10 straight years. And the first year that I stopped doing
That's
it,
a
cold
you
turkey.
problem, bro.
No, it was a me problem, but I was obsessed. I loved it. But then I really got to the point where I'm like, you know what? I just need to take a break. That first year, watching football and not having to worry about some fourth wide receiver blowing up for you for 4 touchdowns and 200 yards, and that being the reason that you lost, and it was only by 1 point or something stupid. It felt great. Like it felt freeing where it was just like, oh my God, I can watch these games and I just don't have to care about players that aren't on my own team. So I will say about that. But yeah, no, I've been that guy before. Just totally been that
I
guy.
love that Joe refers to it as the vegan of college basketball fan. That is such a good description of that. Those are your
Like,
choices.
everyone loves meat. Get over it.
And Shitty knows me. I had told him this story, so he's calling me out in the comment section of it's saying that Joe, we need to get it directly into his veins of you cutting the core of me with calling me out on the fantasy football thing. Because I told him he got me back into fantasy football the last 2 years, and before that I told him, I'm like, dude, I'm living this fantasy football free lifestyle, and it's just going to take so much convincing for me to come out of retirement. Like, I love not caring about other guys on Sunday that aren't on the 49ers. And he drugged me out, and now I'm back into it. And every Sunday, man, it's so stressful. It's
Dude, I
so
can't-
stressful.
I can't do fantasy football just
It's
because I
so
forget bye weeks exist.
stressful.
I forget that happens. And then week 4, I start 3 guys who aren't playing, and I lose, and I'm just like, well,
And
I'm
Shitty
done.
literally has me in the league to watch me sweat. He's straight up said
He's a good friend right there.
He gets pleasure out of the fact that I am so worried about our punishment because the punishment is taking the ACT if you finish dead last, and that is like the most embarrassing thing.
Did the loser have to take it yet?
No, hasn't done it yet because it's coming up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, it's coming up. The ACTs are here. Although I think he was trying to plea bargain out of it. The loser was trying to plea bargain out of it of going to the bar and opening up a tab and having everybody come up and doing that. Like because this was actually I believe his second time he was going to have to take it. And so he's just like, hey, instead of having to be embarrassed like this again, how about everybody come and open up a tab on me and I'll pay it. And so I don't know if they got plea bargained out or not.
I mean, I think I'd take that plea bargain.
I would take that in a heartbeat.
I would rather do that than have to show up for that. That's
and,
the thing.
and it definitely has to go. You guys have to pick a place that's got food too.
Well, yeah,
Ooh,
right.
That could get expensive quick.
You're
I love that Joe talks just like he does in our group chat.
Oh,
like it's
cool.
the exact same.
And
I'm a real one.
Shitty is not only proud of himself, he also told me to shut up. Nobody agrees with my take on not watching or not playing fantasy sports.
Well, Scott is your motherfucker of the week. Motherfucker of the week.
wow,
brought to you by Shitty.
how did that happen?
I don't know. It just seemed right in the moment. It's brought to you by MyBookie. Use the promo code.
Oh, did I say SAT? I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever.
Whatever.
ACT.
That's the same thing.
It's a standardized test.
Anyways, motherfucker of the week brought
embarrassing.
to you by MyBookie. Use the promo code 12ounce sports and get 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Be sure to tune in to all of the gambling shows here on 12 ounce. Then put that knowledge to practice on MyBookie. Make sure to use the promo code 12ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports, all one word, to get the bonus. You can find their banners and links on every page of the station site at www.12ouncesportsradio.com.
And Tabari knows. He said he'd rather go audition for AGT than take the ACT again. Seriously, showing up on a Saturday morning with a bunch of high schoolers as a grown-ass man to take this test,
I feel like
you have to pay $50.
But they're cracking down on that now, aren't they? Like, they're telling these adults they can't do it because that's become, like, the punishment.
Oh, really?
For, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It hasn't hit locally then.
I'm pretty
Wait,
sure
what?
that
The government is turning down free money.
yes, there was a dude that I saw. He's a
that.
comedian out in California, Andy Ruther. He is originally from Cincinnati, but same thing. He lost his fantasy sports league and had to go take the ACTs and was tweeting about how they were trying to turn him away because he's a grown man, clearly not there for any specific reason.
I mean, $50 is $50. I don't know why they would.
Because you got to be worried about child molesters
I
that are willing
did
to pay $50 to go sit in a room full of high school girls.
I did say something along those lines.
Wow, I
about
did
that, like,
not even think of that. Your mind is weird.
No,
No, I got kids,
When
and
you
that's what I wear. I'm always worried about child molesters now that I got kids.
I did say something along those lines about it's weird that they'll let you do this because
Okay,
comedy
moving on from the
people
child molester.
Well, Michael Jackson's documentary is big.
Oh wow!
We can talk
Moving
about
on,
that.
moving on, moving on, moving on.
Tamari says there's a minor league team called the Down East Wood Ducks. Okay,
Never heard of that.
that's a weird one. Where are they from?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's Down East?
Wood? I don't. Are they
Florida?
are they the Down East Wood Ducks or is it the Down Eastwood Ducks? There's a lot of questions that I
Inquiring
have.
minds
And
wanna
also Ducks, weak mascot for minor league team. You better step your game up,
yeah.
Down Eastwood, because if you're combating against the Jumbo Shrimps or the Stud Muffins,
Oh, hold up.
okay, hang on, Joe. Oh, go.
I'm looking at their logo.
Yeah,
And it's
where
one
they
of-
at? Where's the Down Eastwood Ducks?
Well, I didn't. I said
All right,
I
I
was
got that.
looking
You
at their
go look at the
logo.
You go look. All right, my bad.
God, you know, I'm saying, like, this dude wants me to, like, do other stuff.
They're Kinston, North Carolina, by the way. Established
So
in
the
2017.
logo, it ain't that bad. It's like one of those, like, green and orange ducks.
Oh, really?
Kind of like a
mallard.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay, National Geographic.
and
chill
a
out.
male duck.
And they
It's a
have-
male duck. Cool.
Shut
They got
up.
a male duck. as
They
their
have
technical-
they have
Go look up Rob Thomas.
one of their alternates this year. They're gonna be. It looks like they're gonna be the colored greens. Oh. So you got the greens underneath, and then you got a baseball head with like the old time baseball hat.
That's good. That's
Tabari, if you're still listening, thank you for bringing this up
That's-
because
that one
we
right
missed
there
it. Oh,
is
he's got
a-
the
that's a good
link.
one.
He's got the link in the chat.
Collard greens.
That's a
Thank you,
good
Tabari.
one.
Thank
I
you,
gotta
Tabari.
I gotta get that one.
The collard greens.
The
That's
collard
good. That's
greens.
real good. Oh, that's
So if you guys
good.
want to go back and listen to the vlog, if you're listening to this on Monday, if you want to click on that link in our
That is
Okay,
in a
but
video?
okay, so this is clearly like a one-off thing, like which is cool that minor league baseball teams will just change their mascot for a
day.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like last year, the Pizza Rats, the team from Long Island, just did it like
awesome logo too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fantastic. They were like 4 times next year we're going to be the Pizza Rats. Here's the dates that we're going to be the Pizza Rats. Come and watch the Pizza Rats. I love that minor league teams will just change their logo just randomly. If the Braves would change for one weekend, what would you want them to be?
I have no idea. How do you beat collard greens
That's
in
a
the
good
South? Though? Like that's
So
really
so like
good.
for like if like let's say the minor league team was in Atlanta, it has to be like a stripper pole, right?
That's a good one. Yeah.
The California Gold Club, or the
It's got to be it's got to be like
Yeah.
cashing out at the strip
Yeah,
club.
yeah,
Man, that sucks because Cincinnati would be like, oh, the Chili's, and it would just be like a pile of
Oh, it would be
shit.
this. It'd be like like looking like Gold Star
Yeah,
skyline.
It'd
you know?
be a plate that has like skinny arms and like just
with
chili
with
dripping
like
off
with
of it.
a crown on it.
Yeah, that's
Because it's the Queen
disappointing.
City.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, we're the Chili's.
and this place would be so proud of it.
they'd be like, oh, we're the Chili's this weekend.
Literally, that would sell out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that would sell out faster than a bobblehead day at Great American Ballpark.
It would.
Hands down. The Cincinnati Chili's. What do you want Cleveland to be for a weekend?
I mean, I'm guessing the jokes write themselves there. Everybody's gonna have like
The
some
Burning River.
factory of sadness, someone crying because you're in Cleveland. So that's probably what would happen.
I still maintain
It would be the Baker Mayfield's
That's more along the lines. They would just the Indians would just change to the Browns.
The
for a
losing,
weekend.
the 0-16 losing parades.
Should he suggested the Cincinnati Reds were sponsored by Tampax for a day and were just the tampons? That's pretty good, though. I mean, with the Reds in town, the whole thing, like,
Hard pass.
That's funny only because that's what people say.
And now
oh, the
taking
Reds are in town.
Now taking the field, the Cincinnati Ant flows.
Tabari again. The Cleveland Bone Thugs.
This weekend,
That'd be good. That'd be good. The Bone Thugs?
this weekend, the Reds are in town, and you know what we mean.
The Reds are in town, so you're not scoring, everybody.
That's good stuff.
I'm back. I got it back. That was all right. Anyways, what else were we going to talk about tonight? I feel like this show has gone totally off the rails. I blame 13% ABV beer.
I blame we decided we want to talk about
Johnny
stuff that's
Football.
interesting. Johnny
Johnny
Football.
Football.
Yeah. He's getting a divorce apparently.
This
He
motherfucker.
is? Wait, Johnny Football's getting a divorce
All I
from the
know-
fastest woman in the world?
All I know is that all over my tweets this afternoon it was I can't even remember his wife's name, but whatever, had deleted all photos of him, changed her name back to her maiden name, deleted everything, any ties to Johnny Manziel
Johnny.
at all.
Is it because she doesn't want to be in Memphis and she would rather stay in Canada?
That's what somebody speculated. They were like, dude signs with Memphis and all of a sudden she's out.
I mean, your boy Mike Singletary had really great things to say about Johnny Football, so I can't imagine what
Mike,
she is.
man. Mike has clearly not been alive for the past decade.
He literally shook Johnny Manziel's hand right before the press conference and said, "Oh yeah, he seems nice."
It was like, what are you talking about, man?
I said Johnny Manziel seems nice.
Isn't that what he described him as in the press conference? A nice guy who wants to get back to his roots
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Texas
yeah.
A&M. Yo, did you not see him at Texas A&M? What he was doing?
weird,
Signing
man.
autographs at Texas A&M?
Mike is out of his mind at this point. But so Johnny Manziel signs with the AAF this week. The AAF is
We
I
called
mean,
this, though. We said this.
we did say. Well, we weren't sure if he was going to go AAF or
No,
XFL.
but I'm saying, like, we said one of them had to do this.
yeah, they had to make
Because to get, and if it was for nothing else than to get the leg up on the
I
other
believe
one.
I believe we did say that the AAF would get him only because the XFL,
XFL said that they wouldn't take any
no
felons.
criminals.
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
though we know that really means no black criminals.
And also, XFL doesn't exist right now.
yeah,
Well, that's true.
They're still just on paper.
I don't know. They got Bob Stoops. XFL has Bob Stoops. So you
And
know.
Mark Trestman.
And Mark Trestman. Yeah, that name.
But
that's
also,
a name.
but also Vince McMahon.
And a red, white, and blue ball.
And there'll be no kneeling, damn it. Because Johnny Manziel in the AAF. Is Memphis now the team to beat in the AAF? I know the Orlando Apollos are.
Because Mike Singletary's head
So,
coach has been a
like-
disaster. They haven't done any. They've in a league
Weren't they
full
the
of
team that like started 0-4 or
yes.
something? Yeah.
Well, and it's so funny because in a league where it's just like everybody's just kind of whatever because it's just all these players dispersed or whatever, and everybody's got the same record. They're the standalone teams. Like no, they're far and away the worst team in this league.
They are the bad team.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the team that in the districting, they were like, Cincinnati fans should cheer for Memphis. Of course we should, because
So, real question: over under 7.5 passes before Johnny Manziel's first turnover.
taking the under.
That is fumble and interception.
Under.
7.5.
Wait, hold on. 7.5 dropbacks or like hold on. Bring
Pass it like he's
actual
going
pass attempts, not snaps.
right.
Because I'm thinking 7.5. I think 7.5.
Because he could be in
snaps.
shotgun snaps and he could hand it off.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. And 7.5.
All right, so let's go
snaps before a
7.5
turnover.
passes before an interception.
Okay.
I'm
all
still
right.
taking the under. Still taking the under on that.
I'll take the over, but we're not talking by far. It's within the first 10.
So like 8.
Yeah, it's within the first 10 passes.
I want to
that he
hang
throws
on.
a pick.
I want to get back to him and his wife are divorcing. This is shocking news to me.
Well, it's
Because if
shocking.
these two can't make it work, then what hope do we have for love? Johnny Manziel and whatever his wife's name is, if they can't make it work, I mean,
We have Kristen
Shut it
Cavalieri
down.
and Jay Cutler.
that's a good point. That's a good point.
they are still going
You
strong.
got Tom Brady and Giselle. That's a
Oh.
good one. That's
Yep,
good. That's a
yep.
good matchup.
Yep.
Any other really good matchups? Aaron Rodgers and Danica Patrick.
A-Rod.
That's-
You got
A-Rod.
A-Rod.
Did you see there was?
A-Rod and whoever of the week. This is like his third.
Did you see though that the news broke? TMZ broke news that A-Rod had a black eye. And it was after the whole Jose Canseco talking about him cheating. So they were like, did J-Lo whoop A-Rod's ass this week? And she's still wearing a ring. You know J-Lo. Okay, who
You've
wins
been watching too much TMZ and E Network, bro.
I had no idea that he had a black eye. I'm like, where's this coming from?
I was looking for stories, and I checked TMZ, and I saw
No, I'm not
A-Rod
saying
had
that
a black eye.
that's fine, but I missed that one.
But that's exactly what TMZ was like. Did J-Lo beat up A-Rod for cheating on her? On the heels of Jose Canseco's crazy tweets. Can you imagine if like J-Lo is just standing over A-Rod beating the shit out of him? Just being
Actually,
like,
I could.
she would definitely take I would definitely put my money on J-Lo over A-Rod, right?
Yeah.
Are they J-Lo A-Rod? J-Lo Rod? AJ Low Rod? What's their
Is
celebrity
it Alo or is it
What is happening right now?
J-Rod? Are they J-Rod?
is it J Rod or is it Alo?
I like AJ Lowrod. That's what I want to go with.
I guess I'm going with J-Rod if we're talking about this.
Alo?
AJ Lowrod.
A-Lo. Jesus. What is happening? What is happening?
We love to talk and dish dirt.
At the end of this show, Thompson Muggs is pulling out. Like, what? First show we were a sponsor?
So like
We're
the
done.
Bachelor just
Second
happened.
show. Second show. This was
Psych,
actually the
we
second
do
show.
not talk about the Bachelor
We
on
just
this
didn't
show.
have the
And
Muggs
I was just
last
going to
show.
say, it was like first show where we actually had the merchandise.
This is all
to
Joe's
show.
fault. You realize we kept it together when Joe wasn't here. Joe comes
true.
back and this show is off the rails.
Whoa. It's not my fault it's off the rails. It's your fault because you are now free to do other things.
That's exactly what it is. Because
And getting back to it, here goes
Mike has-
Cannon.
Mike has idle hands, and so things have just gone nuts.
I get to search to find out if his name really is Carlos Santana and try to figure out Rob Thomas. Consumer to Can It brought to you by Tavour. Just about every beer that we drink on the show comes from Tavour because Tavour is the only place you get beer from places that just don't distribute here. Totally free to
For us,
sign
it's
up.
the West Coast.
That's right. A lot of Washington beers and Oregon beers that come from Tavour in our state. Anyways, sign up totally free. You can order as many beers as you want. One low flat shipping rate. Just download the Tavour app. Use the code 25083 on the payments and credit screen before placing. Did I say it wrong? 258023. Sorry, man. I wrote it wrong. On this one, on the payments and credit screen, before placing your first order, you'll get $10 off your second order. Stock up your beer fridge today with Tavour. 258023. My bad, man. All right, Consumer to Can It. This week, we got Citrus Drop from Matchless Brewing. I think this one's pretty clear what's happening.
In harmony, everybody.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Consume.
That was awesome, guys. That was awesome. All right, pretty good.
We'll never do better than that. Let's quit while we're ahead. We'll see you
Consumer
guys
to Can
next
It
week.
brought to you by Tavour. Guys, we were like boys to men there.
Dude,
That
this
was
beer
good.
was...
You mean Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Yeah, that too. This
No,
beer
I'm
is
boys
freaking
to men. I like
amazing.
it. It's so good. It is, first of all, would never guess it was 13% other than the fact that I'm starting to slur my words. That's the only thing that gives away that this is 13%. There is no burn.
You've been slurring your words since Carlos Santana.
Smooth.
You didn't get through upper...
Smooth.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
smooth.
You
here.
did not get through upper deck without slurring your words.
The
so-
mouth feel on this thing.
Oh, good mouthfeel.
Yes.
Great mouthfeel
Oh,
on
yeah.
One of the
Yeah,
best
baby.
mouthfeels we've ever had on
this
show.
one is a fantastic mouthfeel.
I would
Creamy.
mouthfeel this again.
Creamy.
It is so good. This beer is so delicious. The sad thing is I looked it up on Matchless's website and it wasn't on their site anywhere. So I don't know if this was like a temporary thing. But if you ever come across Citrus Drop by Matchless Brewing, pick it up. Pick up everything. Buy everything that you can find because it is so damn good. Remember at the beginning of the show when I was like, guys, this is 13% and we got 2 each. I don't think we're going to get through them.
We were worried.
Ooh, man, it goes down so smooth.
Yeah.
Easy to get through 2 of these. Consumer to Can It, all 3 consumes. Brought to you by Tavour.
Should we go to the polls?
We could. Yeah, we could talk about this.
Okay.
All right. I didn't vote yet. Scott, why don't you go ahead and go first? This week's Would You Rather, we ask, would you rather share an office with a guy who, after the first game, rips up his bracket? This is over terrible. I'm done. My bracket's busted. Or would you rather share an office with a guy who has 12 different brackets and brags about picking the 9 over the 8 seed?
You bragger.
Who you going with, Scott? What would
I
you rather
just
do?
voted, but I felt like from the beginning I was kind of leaning one sort of way, and it was towards the first game whiner, just because I feel like that guy in the office, I always am with that guy. There's always somebody around who, oh, the bracket's busted. I even saw tweets earlier that said, for that first game, that said, please, Louisville, pick things up so we don't have to be inundated with tweets that say my bracket is busted. And I was like, yep, everybody on Twitter gets it.
How many people had Louisville going past next round? Because don't they play Michigan State? Doesn't
In our area, probably too many.
I'm pretty sure Minnesota has Michigan State in the next round.
I picked Louisville, but I remember it was one of those ones where I thought, whatever, even if I get this wrong, neither one of these teams is going to make it past that, so I don't care. I originally had Minnesota and changed it because I was like, no, don't be a biased homer because you're just mad. Because you just want
You
Chris
mad at
Mack.
Mac. It
Yeah,
is
you just
Michigan State.
want
They got
Mac to
Michigan
lose.
State.
Yeah,
so
okay, there you go. So they're going to lose. And so, yeah.
So you miss out on 1 point in your bracket.
And that's why I didn't care. But that's what makes the first game winner slightly more or whiner rather, not winner, tolerable, because the guy who's got multiple brackets and tries to sit there and tell you, I can't help but look at them and think, dude, nobody cares. You had 15 tries. Of course you got one of them right.
That's why I'm going with that guy, because at least the dude who is like, my bracket's busted, likely only had the one. Because if you're upset after one pick, yeah, okay, you only had the one
That's why
bracket.
I would rather be with him.
Yeah, but would you rather share an office with that guy who only had one, or the guy who's just like, yeah, it's I called that, and it's like, no, you didn't. Shut up.
Yeah,
Just go sit down.
But the
go
thing
sit
is,
down. Nobody
they
cares about
never
you.
admit that. They
It's
just sit
so
there
much
and-
easier to ignore the other
guess,
guy
but
than the guy who's.
I can ignore both of them, quite honestly.
I'm picking. I would rather share an office with the multiple bracket bragger, just so that I can. I feel like you could brush him off so much easier than the dude lighting fires in the trash can. And
This is my
burning
bragger friend. Joe, what do you got?
So across all platforms, the nation has voted. They said 57% the bracket buster whiner.
stuff. All right.
Yeah, because I feel
You
like
win.
there's that.
You
There,
win.
no,
You
I'm just
win.
saying there's that guy in there, and you were saying about tuning him out. It's like, yeah, I feel like I can tune out the guy.
You
that
tune out
says
either
that.
one. Look, bottom line, don't be a douche when it comes to your brackets. Like,
Seriously.
just enjoy that it's you get sports for way longer than you normally
And
do.
except for the
any other
sports
time.
vegans, everyone is doing one.
I was just
So everybody is having
I
the
was just
same
gonna say,
problems.
except for you can always be that guy who just doesn't fill one out and lives life to the fullest because you don't have to worry about things that went wrong.
I gotta be honest, if it wasn't for Minute Man Madness, I probably wouldn't have filled out a bracket this year.
Up top.
I probably wouldn't have done it.
No doubt.
But
It's
it's
I
not,
wasn't gonna fill.
I
one
wasn't gonna brag about it. It's just laziness. It's just like
and that was my thing. I'm past the point of bragging. It was literally just, guys, I just didn't feel like it. Xavier's not in it, so I just didn't care enough to fill one out. But I'm in Minuteman, and for my fantasy football league that I also don't want to be in and I'm stressed out about, it determines our draft order, so I had to be in it.
Are you serious?
Bro,
That's how you guys
bro.
make
Yep.
draft order?
First off, everybody loves free money and free prizes. So if you don't fill one out on ESPN and copy it on every single group, what are you doing?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah.
Well,
That's
yeah, but
totally
my
fair.
only
And
thing about that is I've never
the
won
Warren
anything,
and the
so-
Warren Buffett one, like he's giving out $1 million
Yeah, but
if you
have
get
to
all
be-
Sweet 16.
But you have to be an employee of Berkshire Hathaway. So. Yeah. You have to work for the company.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, so I don't have a perfect Sweet 16. I don't think.
That's been the caveat since he started doing that.
Joe's face
That's
just
all right.
I know, did it.
Wait, actually, I could still have a perfect Sweet 16.
Just went, oh.
But I want that $1 million.
Like,
First
you
off, if
you
you're not
saw it-
entering to get some free prizes as free money
You
and it takes
saw
10
it.
seconds, get over yourself.
You saw Joe's face just go, how long does it take to update my resume? That's where Joe's head just went. Can I
is
be
it
employed
really
by,
that hard to be a realtor?
Can I be employed by next weekend? Is that possible? Can I get a job there by next weekend? That was amazing to see, Joe.
Well, it's funny since nobody's done it, and I mean, I don't know, if it would, but because it's never happened across the country, I wonder if Warren Buffett would like go to that person who did it and said, "I know the terms were that you have to work for Berkshire Hathaway, but I'm gonna make an amendment to it, and you get it because you're the one person who did it." Because I mean,
I feel like
nobody's done it.
I feel like there's a lot of people who get all Sweet 16s. Come on, nobody's done that. Nobody's had all Sweet 16 teams.
All of them? Like, no. I mean, the numbers are still statistically like wildly off to get that.
I know it's really tough to get it, but I feel like people have had perfect brackets
Well, then
into the Sweet 16.
maybe that's why I put the qualifier in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea. I don't research anything for the show, so I have no clue. I have no clue if that's
Yeah,
the case.
we
get on it
answer
cold.
the first question. Follow-up questions,
Yeah,
not a
don't,
strong
Don't
suit.
come back
Not
with
a
any
strong
follow-ups.
suit.
We're not going to do
Rob,
that.
who? Thomas.
Follow-up questions, not a strong suit.
By the way, FC Cincinnati won. I don't know if you remember
That happened. That was the thing.
That was a thing that happened. First 3 points. FC Cincinnati. The town is a soccer town now.
Buzzing. They are a buzzing.
That is what Cincinnati is. We are a soccer town for sure. At least for another week. We're a soccer town for another week.
There it is for another week. No doubt.
This has been a good show, guys. This has been
Guys.
really fun.
We just want to shout out everybody that signed up into our Minuteman bracket. I think
No,
we
'cause
have.
honestly, thank you. I mean, it means a lot
yeah.
to us as much as we joke and haha, sellouts, whatever. But like, really, we pushed it a lot, and we really wanted.
I know we get annoyed with the
past
tweets
our
and the
number.
posts.
Yeah.
Currently, we have 4 people tied for first, where they've gotten all the games right. So 4 people right now are tied for first,
Good
Man.
for them.
and
I ain't
hopefully
one of those
it'll,
Kicked out of the group.
You were ineligible.
And then there are about 30 tied for second right now. So shout out to the 4 people tied at fourth, and we'll see how it goes.
Shitty wants to know who's winning. It's not you,
Moleskins,
Shitty.
James 441, Frank Ted, and
A lot of letters and numbers.
Yeah.
That's a Russian bot. There's a Russian bot that is tied for
Infiltrated
first place
our group.
right now. That's somebody's second
man.
bracket where they just mashed the keyboard for the name. And then they're bragging right now. They're like, I picked that upset in my one bracket that's leading right now.
There's this bracket that I logged into. I don't even know what it was called. Minutes something or another. I called that, though, on that one. Bet I'm leading that group.
Well, this has been Joe. I'm so glad you're back, man. This has been a fun show with you.
Joe,
back
don't leave
because-
ever again.
Please don't, because I can't handle it. I can't do it. So I'm really glad you're back, man.
love you guys too.
All right, good.
Thank you.
This has been a super fun show. Thank you guys for tuning in, for commenting. We will work to get the drunk line back open next week. I apologize. I know Drew left a message. He had his call sheet ready to go.
Of course he did.
And we weren't able to answer. So I apologize, Drew. But be sure, everybody, to follow the show on Twitter at Craft Sports. You can follow Scott at ScottyK_Jr. Follow Joe at JoeGoalie4. Follow me at Mike Burlon. The drunk line, even when it's not open for the show, you can always leave a message, 440-37-DRUNK. Talk all that trash you want. Shout out again to all of the sponsors of the show, Minuteman Tickets, Tavor, Thompson Mug Company,
And thank
Morning
you to our
Recovery.
home on 12 ounce.
Yes, shout out 12 ounce. We really appreciate you guys hosting us and putting the show out there. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Cheers, everybody.
We trying to get Mike Trout money.